What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Smoke Podcast. This is episode 122. 122. I'm your host, Ryan. This is Mr. Matthew at Customs by Matthew.
Whoa.
As always, just being a lovely gent. How are you, my friend?
I'm okay, I suppose. Busy with packing, as you can see. There's everything is
gone.
Totes. Look at all these totes. There's like fucking 10 of them. It's all
you
my
could do
toys.
Tote Wednesday from now on.
Tote Wednesday. I'll just set up my webcam and it'll just look at the totes. It does nothing else. I'm not even there. I'm just.
It's you going online to like Amazon.com, buying totes.
It can be called totes. That's it.
Total totes.
Tuesday totes.
It's just like
you switch to Tuesday nights.
You looking at different totes you could buy on like what's on sale at different stores. It's like, oh, this is a 16 by 10 tote. Looks pretty nice. It's got a nice rubber outside.
And then whenever somebody asks a question, I just say totes.
Totes. That's a good point. Totes. We're a bunch of idiots.
Hey, that's all right. That's good. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, your collection is gone and you're getting ready to move, and very exciting times.
Very exciting, very stressful. As I was saying to you right before, there's this like uncertainty about when I'll get to see all of these on display again. So it's been, I don't want to say emotional. It hasn't been emotional, but it's definitely like weighed on me. It's like such a privileged thing to say, but I mean,
it's hard packing up everything and
yeah, man,
you don't have a timeline on what exactly is going to happen. Moving sucks. Moving is just sucks.
Moving does suck. Yeah, I mean, if it's not the physical moving of everything, it's like the changing your addresses, and like when you like buy toys, like I buy them, it's like
it's gonna get delivered to the wrong place.
Yeah, exactly. I have to remember, like, all right. I mean, I have a good system, but still, shit still slips through the cracks. And it's just like, I have to go through everything. I have to change my address, my delivery address on everything. And
it's a pain.
It's just a fucking butt.
Yeah, I mean, we've both moved so many goddamn times that, like, we're experts, and it sucks every time. It never gets easier. No matter how many times you move, it sucks.
Yep, it's true. I remember when I moved the last time, and I was like, this is the last time I'm moving. Well, I'm saying it again. This is the last time I'm moving.
Yeah, I've said that 4 times. Every time I move, I'm like, I'm never doing that again. I fucking hate it. And then something comes up, and I said that when I moved in here, and now I'm like, man, maybe I'll move again. Who knows? It sucks. Moving sucks.
I agree. So what's up with you? What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. I'm pretty homebound these days because I'm still not feeling great. So just kind of staying around the house and hanging out with my dog and not doing a whole lot and not up to doing a whole lot. And my brain doesn't want me to do a whole lot. So
you're not doing a whole lot.
A lot of sleeping and a lot of watching TV because otherwise I just don't feel great. So
the other night I had nothing to do because all of my shit's packed away. So it's like I got to like 11 and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, that's early for you.
It was Wednesday night because we did Whip Wednesday so early this week. We did it at like 7 instead of 9, and it's like finished everything, got everything done, and then that's when Thursday I was like, you know what? I can't just like not do anything for the next 2 weeks. So I like pulled out some customs and I was like, I'm gonna work on some figures, even if it's not ideal.
You're a busybody. You have to have something.
I have to have something to do. Yeah. I can't just do nothing.
See, I'm like that, but with like television or movies or video games. Like I have to be watching something, or I have to have my mind occupied, or I go crazy.
Yeah.
So, you're more hands-on approach to everything, and I'm up here. But
yes. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it sure does. What'd you watch this week? Did you get into anything exciting?
No, nothing really, man. The only thing I watched this week worth sharing is for some reason I like randomly felt the need to watch the Masters of the Universe movie from 1986.
That is an odd choice.
Actually 87. Very odd choice. I like a couple weeks ago, that Weekly Planet podcast that I listened to, they do these things called Caravan of Garbage, where they like it's usually picks on a movie that's like shitty, but sometimes they just pick older movies that like are relevant to something that's coming out.
Yeah.
So with Barbie coming out, because Barbie's a Mattel property and He-Man's a Mattel property, they did that.
Nice.
And when I watched it, I was like, oh man, I kind of want to watch. It's like very. Have you ever seen that movie?
I feel like I seen it when I was really young. I was like obsessed with He-Man as like
I wasn't even
4 or 5 year old, like late 80s, early 90s. I don't know exactly the timeline, but I was like really young. I watched the cartoon on TV like constantly. I had some toys, like I had Skeletor and a couple of the tigers, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but I probably seen the movie when I was really young, but I honestly don't remember it at all.
It's cheesy 80s goodness for sure, but it's not really well regarded. Like I even said it to my buddy. I was like, "Oh, I watched Masters of the Universe today," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I was like,
"Yeah."
I don't know why everyone hates it so much. Like, even though it isn't great, I have this like deep nostalgia for it because I watched it so much when I was a kid, and I just like, I still love it. Like even today when I watched it, I was like customizing, and I ended up stopping and just like watching a good chunk of it because I was just like, I don't know, I fucking love it. I don't know why I love it, but I do love it.
But we talk about that all the time. Nostalgia's powerful. Man. Like it
is.
If you watched it for the first time now, you'd probably go, "This is garbage," but because you have the nostalgic tie to it, you love it.
Yeah, but there's like a certain charm to it, you know. Like Courtney Cox is in it, and she's like super young, and just like I don't know, it's fun. It's good. It's a good time.
Yeah, buddy.
I like it.
It's weird.
That's the only thing I watched. I know.
Like when she's in Ace Ventura, even though she was on Friends at the same time, but
yeah. I mean, it's even older than that, right?
Yeah, it's like what, like 80s, 88, 89, something.
87.
87, yeah.
Dolph Lundgren wearing nothing but underwear and a cape.
That's the way we like him.
Hells yeah.
I was too. I appreciated it.
Dr. Dolph Lundgren from
Always Sunny. Can smell crime. Runs on all fours. Just a giant nose.
Oh man, it's so fun. He's a buff doctor, or a doctor scientist, or a scientist or something. Wasn't he a scientist?
Yeah, he's a scientist. And then Dennis goes busted skulls, deep penetration. Busted skulls, deep penetration, and it just kind of keeps going that way, and then it just ends.
Oh shit, that's funny.
I love that. That's a great episode.
That is a great episode. But yeah, that's the only thing I watched this week. I didn't really get up to much. I caught up on a bunch of toy shows at post SDCC, so everybody was having all these talks that made me jealous that I wasn't there. And
we'll be at Fan Expo.
Yeah, man, Fan Expo's coming in hot, so that'll be fun. I'll be able to get to the new place, move in, and then step away from everything being a mess because I won't have a place to put all my stuff. Like even like figuring out where I'm going to put this stuff. Like there's like 10 totes of just action figures. After I have all my customizing stuff, there's probably going to be like 12 to 14, 15 totes. And I'm like, where the fuck do I put that for 2 to 4 months until the shit all gets built?
Find a closet somewhere, or have the second bedroom as kind of a storage space. I don't know.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to just run it around along the side of the wall, and not ideal, but it is what it is.
You're not gonna have everything together the first couple weeks you're there. It's gonna take time to unpack everything and get it the way you guys like it. Like,
we'll be unpacked. We'll be unpacked for the first week for sure. I'm crazy. Like I can't live out of boxes, so like realistically, those first 2 days we move there, like I won't sleep. I'll just stay up all night and unpack until it's done, and then I'll sleep for like 3 days.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's that for sure won't like everything that has a home and can be unpacked when we move. It'll be unpacked within a couple days.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
Yeah. My wife's like I remember like when we first moved in here and I had to like build all the furniture. I think I had to build like 30 things when we moved in here. Because we bought all brand new shit. At least the new place we're going, where I only have to build 2 things.
Yeah,
like it's like not a lot, right? So because we're bringing a lot of stuff with us, and
no, I would hope so.
But I think I just work. I probably slept for like 2 hours a night. I was up until like 4 a.m. I'd get up at like 8 or 9, maybe in the best case scenario.
Yeah,
and like back at it. Just like I think I built furniture for like 5 days straight. It's fucking messed up.
Yeah, you're
my hands were fucked. Like they were disgusting.
Yeah, they're gonna be sore as hell, man.
Yeah.
That's the way you are, though. That's
I know.
Just you. I know you.
Yep. I can't escape it.
No, we all have our quirks.
Yep.
And you started watching Community again, you said?
Yeah, I started just tonight, just looking for something to put on in the background. I was all caught up on toy shows, so just like, I'll watch something that is familiar that I can laugh at. And
sure, naturally.
So yeah, I got this fun Vader figure this week.
Very nice. Yeah, I saw you posted. You got a couple there recently.
Yeah, I've been posting Sundays, like my hauls. So for the week, so I'm waiting to prep that post for tomorrow because tomorrow my mother-in-law is coming over in the morning and bringing the first package that got delivered to our new place over for me.
Nice.
I got the Dudley boys that got delivered today. So
do they come with tables?
They don't, but I have a table, so that's good.
Dope.
Yeah. Hells yeah.
Nice.
What'd you watch? You watched a lot.
Yeah, like I said, I've kind of been very homebound and not really up to doing a whole lot. So I started the week off and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a Tarantino binge. And I watched Django Unchained and Inglourious Bastards.
Nice.
Both are just excellent movies, and I love both of them very much. So
I don't think I've seen either of those movies more than twice. Like I think I've only seen them both twice.
You should watch.
Whereas like the rest of them are like all his older stuff I've seen literally like dozens of times.
Yeah, I mean I've seen. I love Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown, but
me too.
Kill Bill is probably my favorite. I would say my favorite Tarantino movie probably, but yeah, I don't know. I other than like what's Death Proof, I think all of his movies are pretty solid. I think Death Proof is pretty bad actually, but
Death Proof is the one with the girl with the that's the one with the car, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a part of the...
I actually didn't mind that one. I mean, it's definitely plays to a certain audience, but I didn't mind it. It's okay.
It's part of that Grindhouse like double feature that they did.
Yeah. That was with Planet Terror or something.
Planet Terror is awesome
with the machine gun leg or whatever, right?
Yeah, that movie's awesome, but I did not like.
I haven't watched that in a long time. Yeah, I think I only saw it a couple times, but I like Reservoir Dogs. I know you're not huge on Reservoir Dogs, but
it's fine. But it's not. It's like bottom tier for me. Like I like it more than Death Proof, but it's not a movie I go back to.
Yeah. I like Jackie Brown a lot too.
Yeah, Jackie Brown's awesome. I got to go back and rewatch Hateful Eight because I wasn't huge on it when I seen it, but
yeah, I think I only saw Hateful Eight once.
Yeah, I thought it was really slow and boring, but anyway, I love most of Tarantino's work. So, but then I watched those two, and then I stumbled upon a Ringer podcast that was revisiting the early 2000s show, The OC. It's the 20th anniversary of the premiere of the OC in the beginning of August, and so they were talking about kind of the very first episode, and like this is at a time where the first season is literally 27 episodes.
That's crazy, eh?
Yeah, it's insane. And so I binged the first 2 seasons this week, which was 51 episodes.
Holy fuck.
They're like 44 minutes long.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't sleep and you feel like shit. But yeah, so going back to the OC, like it's definitely early 2000s in a lot of ways. Like it's a very of its time, like for us, end of high school, college, that era of like the clothes, the like the style, like the girls' makeup and shit, and their hair is like so early 2000s. Everybody has a flip phone. Nobody has any other type of cell phone. The music, like the music is great in the OC. Like it's like that was where like Death Cab for Cutie really like was starting to blow up and like
right. Yeah, I remember because that was an MTV show, so they always had good music.
Right? It was Fox, but
was it?
I think eventually it aired on MTV too. But
okay.
They had like so many music tie-ins. Like that was like especially the second season. Like every episode has a music tie-in almost.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's very of its era. Like I never was into it when it first aired. An ex-girlfriend actually forced me to watch it with her. And then I got into it off that. And then I haven't watched it since. So I haven't seen it in probably 15 years. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it all. And I'm gonna binge it, and it holds up pretty good story wise. Like it's that type of show. It's definitely like teen drama ish show, but it holds up story wise. It's just the clothing and shit like that. The style is very 2003
of its time.
Yeah.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's an enjoyable watch, and so I'm just gonna keep binging that. And, we probably should mention too that this will be the last episode until August 17th, I think it is, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Let me look and see the exact date. August 19th.
August 19th. So our next episode will not be until August 19th. Mass moving.
2 weeks off.
3 weeks off.
3 weeks off?
What's today? 30th, 7th, 14th, 21th?
No, 2 weeks off.
Oh, 2 weeks off, and then we're back.
Yeah. We're missing the 5th and the 12th.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we'll be back on the 19th, and depending on what we get up to over the next 2 weeks, we'll either talk about Oppenheimer a little bit if we see it, hopefully. And if not, we'll probably just hype Fan Expo, which will be going to the following week. So
regardless, we'll end up talking about Fan Expo, probably talking about Ahsoka.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule will be out for Fan Expo, so we can talk about anything that piques our interest on that. And we'll be obviously talking about Ahsoka while we're at Fan Expo, and who knows, whatever shenanigans we'll get up to while we're in Toronto. But
yeah, girl.
It should be good. And then other than that, I didn't really watch a whole lot. Like that took up majority
just stuck
of my
to
week.
The OC.
Yeah, I binged a shit ton of OC. So I think that's it.
Nice. I have another friend who actually might be going to Fan Expo as well. He lives here, but he's in Toronto for the week, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that was Fan Expo that week." So he's like, "Maybe I'll see if I can get a ticket." So
yeah,
he might be joining us. I don't know. You might recognize him when you see him. I went to college with him.
Maybe,
but he would have been the people I hung out with at college that we would have passed by each other probably.
He should try to get tickets for like the Friday and not the Saturday, because Saturday's so packed.
I told him Saturdays aren't good because I said they're just busy.
Like they're insane on Saturday, so he's not going to have a great time. Friday's like busy, but it's manageable. Mm-hmm. Sunday usually it's still pretty packed because it's the last day and everybody's trying to get their like last minute things. But Thursday and Friday are like this. Like Thursday especially is like slow. Like there's barely anybody there because everybody shows up on Friday. So
it makes me wonder if it's going to be slower with now that all the movie stuff's going to be out of the way, because like that's how it was at SDCC this year.
Yeah.
With all that, like there was a lot more opportunity for like it kind of like spread things out a little bit. And
so, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to drop out the next couple of weeks. Like I have a feeling a lot of these celebrities are going to say like, there's no point in me going. I can't promote anything. I'm picketing, whatever. But we'll see. I mean, regardless, it's fun. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Even if there's no celebrities there, it doesn't.
I'm going to hang out.
Yeah.
And check out some cool cosplayers and look at cool nerdy shit. Yeah.
And eat like a trash pile.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I wish it wasn't a month away still, but
I know. It'll be here, especially for me in like no time, because I'll have a busy couple weeks leading up to it. So
exactly.
Yeah. And then it'll be gone in no time too. So that'll also be sad.
Yeah. Oh, it flies by. Like you get to Toronto, it's over in a blink of an eye. It sucks.
Yeah.
But what do you do? Yeah. That's everything.
Yeah. What do you do?
It's already August. It's going to be August in 2 days. How the fuck is it already?
I know, right? What the fuck?
I feel like summer started a week ago. Like, doesn't even make sense.
I mean, I'm ready for fall, but like I said earlier, the only reason I don't want to rush it is because once we get into like rainy season here, I know me getting my studio built is going to be much more difficult.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
at least it's not cold there, though, right? Like.
It's true, but when it starts to rain, it's not a good, like, it's hard to get shit done.
Yeah. No, I understand. I hate the rain, but
yeah.
I mean, we've had fucking storm after storm after storm here because it's been insanely hot all week. So
has it?
Yeah. Yesterday was like 33 or something without humidity. I think it was like 40 something with humidity.
I'm hoping it's not like stupid hot when I'm there, but I know it's like right in the thick of like heat. So
but Toronto's not nearly as bad as Windsor.
Oh, that's good.
Like, I mean, sometimes it's hot, don't get me wrong, but I don't find it nearly as humid. And like there's so many tall buildings, you can hide from the sun a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, it's like downtown Vancouver, right? Like it's
totally.
It's busy, but I don't think any year we really went where there was like insane heat where we were like, oh god. The only issue that actually I noticed this year, I mean, this is a tangent and a half, but usually when we go, the Blue Jays are always not at home. Like they always play away that weekend almost every single time because like it's just so busy. And this year they're at home 3 of the 4 days were there. So like traffic is going to be fucking insane during the Blue Jay games.
Well, I mean, the good thing is at least we're not driving anywhere. So
no, we're walking and that's fine. But like getting out of Fan Expo, like the where the Blue Jays, the Sky Dome or whatever the fuck it's called now, Rogers. I don't know what the fuck it's called anymore. It's like right there, right? So,
okay.
It's gonna be busy, but whatever.
We'll make it work.
It'll be fun.
There might be some shit going on there with. There's like a nerd bar there. I can't remember what it's called right now, but Storm Manor or something. I don't remember, but
I don't know.
They might do something because it's Fan Expo weekend. So
yeah, Fan Expo usually has like tie-ins
stuff around
bars around the area.
Maybe we'll get up to something like that and just whatever.
The one year, I think it was the first or second year we went, they had like this like Fan Expo, I don't know, like party night or something like that at some hotel nearby. And so I think it was like me and 2 or 3 other friends, and we get in there and we're like, oh, all right, like there's a lot of people here, whatever. So we go up to the bar to get a drink, and we both ordered beers. And he's like, that's gonna be $15. And I'm like, for a beer? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, yeah, all right, we're leaving. Like it's $15 beer night. We're out of here. That's not happening.
I mean, for me, it's like I don't really drink that much, so even if it was overpriced, I'd be like, all right, I could just have one drink and be fine with it and whatever, right? You know, I'll end up smoking the whole time, so.
No, sure. I mean, I'm just saying.
Be puffing away.
I won't be drinking at all, so it's all good. But
no, that's good. Oh, what up, dude? Jay Shot in the house.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going? We're talking about fun Fan Expo and meeting people in Toronto.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Jay Shot just got back from They just got back from SDCC. So
I saw some
he does a podcast. Online. Yeah, he does a podcast with the other Matthew, and they were all together with Toying Around's group and the Toy Migos. And when they were doing their live show on the Friday night at one of the Airbnbs they were staying at, they had a tortilla fights. So like they would like face each other and they would do rock, paper, scissors and slap each other in the face with tortillas. Fuck, man. It was so funny. It was so funny.
That's mayhem.
Jay Shot got Matthew like real fucking good. Like the first one was those two. They went against each other and he just fucking cranked him. It was so funny.
I'm gonna fill mine with sour cream.
I was dying laughing.
That's great.
So
I hope we can find some people there. It'd be great.
Yeah. I think Toying Around's going. I'm pretty sure I heard Kevin say he's going. And then Morning Wolf Customs is one of my buddies, Anthony. I'm gonna try to connect with him when we're there as well because he's in Toronto area.
Nice.
And then Bearded Builds is another person who I would like to connect with. So yeah, I got a couple, but hoping we can just go do. I will never look at a burrito the same way.
That's great. Only see them as weapons now.
Yep, that's right.
Taco Bell's got a new slogan.
Protect yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
With a bean burrito.
Yeah, I guess we should get into Secret Invasion.
So much to talk about.
Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, spoilers for Secret Invasion. Let me throw up the spoiler signal here.
Spoilers, yo.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but the finale of Secret Invasion is done. The show is over. So
if you watched it, then it ruined it for you.
Yeah. As you can tell, neither of us were very high on it.
No, I have to say it is weird to see even the people that you expect to love it. You know, like I consider myself an MCU fanboy. I try my best to look at the positive instead of the negative of things. But
sure,
even I have to say that, man, this was real rough. Like,
not good. Not good.
It really wasn't good. It really wasn't good. The whole series was not good, but like
I thought the series was pretty mediocre, but like the finale was just like the kick in the nuts that I was like, fuck, man,
trash.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think the finale was bad. Like,
the finale was bad.
I think the series as a whole was like probably a 6 for the most part. Like, it was there. It wasn't anything I would like push people to watch, but if you're interested, sure. But like after that finale, I'd be like, you can just skip it.
Yep.
Like, it's not worth watching.
The thing is it suffered from the same thing that most of these Disney Plus shows suffer from, which is horrible fucking pacing.
Yeah.
And then you get to the last episode and there's a million things you have to do, and they just
30 minutes
fucking just jam as much shit in there as they possibly can. It's rushed, it's fast, it doesn't fucking flow, and it's just,
but like,
it's like
I don't understand why. Like, why couldn't that last episode be an hour long? I don't understand why. Like, what was the time limit on it? Why did it have to be a 30-minute episode?
Yeah.
They were all short for it, but it felt rushed. Wanted more espionage. It had 2 more episodes. I think it would have been better. Yeah, it to me, it didn't need even 2 more episodes. It was just the last 3 episodes should have been an hour long.
Out. Yeah, like I said last week, like I think the second last episode, like I feel like we did nothing in that episode. Like, they would have been better off spacing out some of this episode into that one.
Yeah,
and like, you know, really giving it a chance to breathe. But yeah, I don't know. 5 episodes of Nick Fury walking around, 1 episode of a bad CGI fight.
I just think they don't know what to do with these phases. Like, I feel like they're very kind of just lost in what they want to achieve, and they don't have a storyline. Like, to me, when I read that the director didn't read anything about Secret Invasion before he started, and they wanted him to make it up on his own, I'm like, why? Like, you have this great material to pull from. Why wouldn't you use that and say, like, okay, this is kind of what we want from it, but we also
at least take ideas from it.
We also have changed and altered certain things from the comics that we can't really do. But like, here's a basic itinerary or a basic layout of what we want to do, and like, all right, let's go from there. But like, I even saw a thing with the director after the series had ended, and the interviewer asked him like something along the lines of like, how do you feel about like the mixed reception to the series? And he's like, oh, I don't read reviews or anything. Like, I didn't know it was mixed, something along those lines. And then they said like the last episode felt a little like rushed, and he was like, well, we cut out a lot of it, and like we had other things we could have put into it, but we felt like 30 minutes was enough, and we wanted it to start with lengthy episodes and then feel like a freight train rushing to the end. And I'm like, well, that failed miserably. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't good.
I don't know. I really wanted to like this because I
was excited for it.
The MCU. And I think I said this at the beginning as we were watching these.
Can't see him, but he's hiding
behind the microphone.
He's laying on the table with the mic.
Oh, but yeah, like as I was saying at the beginning, is like I think there's a lot of oh, hi Finn, little cutie. As I was saying, I think that like, you know, the fun of having like never knowing who's a Skrull and who's not a Skrull, like I feel like they could have done so much more with that, and like it was just so underutilized.
Well, it felt so orchestrated. Like we talked about it as soon as Don Cheadle fucking fired Nick Fury.
Yeah.
We said like that was so out of character for him, the way he was talking and whatever. He has to be a Skrull. Like we called it instantly. And then of course the next episode we find out he's a Skrull. Like it was just so like telegraphed every fucking plot point that it was like, there's no surprises. There's nothing here that's like, oh shit. Like it was like, no, that seemed pretty obvious. Like
it just sucks though, because the premise of using Skrulls in this like lend itself to shock value. Like there's so many things they could have done here where like it could have made you go like, whoa, holy fuck, didn't see that coming. But it's just like everything was paint by numbers. Everything was very, again, like safe again.
Safe.
And you know, like, felt watered down. That's a great way of putting it. It did feel watered down big time. And like even the thing with the Super Skrulls, like, you know, at first I was kind of like, oh, I hate that she has like a Drax arm and whatever. But I'm like, I guess in some ways, like that is what it is like in the comics. Like the Super Skrulls are like, they'll have like a Mr. Fantastic arm and a Thing arm, and it's on fire like Human Torch, and like, so I mean, I guess that works. But
I hated that they gave her every power. Hated it.
Yeah, me too.
It breaks the entire MCU, in my opinion. Now you basically have created Superman, who can do everything and has no weaknesses.
And just kill anybody. She could kill the Avengers if she wanted to.
What is the point of this character now? How are you going to work with both her and like Captain Marvel, who's like basically invincible at this point as well? Like, where is this is my problem with Superman, is like the character is not relatable in any way because he can do everything and has almost no weaknesses. It's like, okay, great. So Gaia now is going to be the Superman of the MCU, and just, all right, we have this issue. Okay, call her down.
Well, the thing is too, is like now the thing comes where it's like whenever we do these big movies that lead up to something big, like a Kang Destiny or whatever, you know, all we need to do is bring her in. But if we don't bring her in, it's like, okay, well, where is she? You know what I mean? Well, it's like you've created this other like ultra being where it's like,
but that's what I mean with
it would solve all of the it would solve all of the MCU's problems by just having her around.
You're gonna have some watered down excuse of like she's off planet, she's fighting the Skrulls, another homeland, she's off in Nebula 5, like, you know, whatever.
it's actually Skrullos,
whatever. And then they're gonna, the last minute when they really need a hero, she comes in from the sky and it's like, all right, I'm here. And it's like, oh great, like
guy is here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, and then that too, Graphic got killed so easily, even though he had all the powers too. Like, it didn't really work.
Yeah.
I don't know. That whole aspect I was really bothered by. I hated it. I hated the fight. It looked bad.
CGI was kind of botchy for sure.
It was very botchy, and it just wasn't like a long enough battle that felt like it earned itself. Like it was like 30 seconds and Gravik's dead, and I'm like, all right, great.
But again, predictable, right? Like, as they were like going back and forth between Gravik and Fury, and then like in like kind of hinting that Fury was in the building where the president was in the hospital. As soon as they hinted at that, I'm like, oh well, that's Gaia. Like, that has to 100%. Be Gaia with what's his name? Like, it's the only way it makes sense. Like,
there's no suspense in like detective mode going on where you're like, oh, I'm intrigued to solve this mystery. It's like, no, the mystery is obvious.
Yeah,
like, I found the killer holding the guns right there. You know, it's, I don't know, but that whole aspect I didn't like. And then the whole War Machine being a Skrull, and then like we find, you know, them waking him up, Rhodey waking up or whatever, and it's like they didn't answer anything. Like, obviously it was meant, okay, he's paralyzed, so it happened post Civil War.
Yeah.
I think he was in like a hospital gown or something like that, so you can assume that that's where they took him. But like, they didn't answer anything directly. Like, it wasn't like,
the fact that we didn't get an answer is annoying.
There should have been a flashback moment of like what exactly happened, how they captured him. Like, it should have been like a minute or two scene with him waking up, and then like been like what happened, and like them having to tell him that like Tony's dead and like all this stuff. Like, there could have been a whole emotional angle.
They'll save that for Armor Wars though.
They could, yeah, but like,
because it'll add some brevity. It'll add some like not brevity. It'll add some like drama to that, and it'll give it some emotional weight. And like, again, then you can call back to Tony, which will kind of help, especially tie in with Armor Wars, which makes sense, right? So
it does,
I get
but
that
like,
part, but
there was no emotional payoff with this series. Like, there was no moment where I was like, it pulled on the heartstrings, because you're like, oh, I love Rhodey, and like, he's missed out on all these opportunities. It was just like, here's a 3-second scene of him waking up. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, there's no like, we've known this character for 20 years,
since the beginning of the MCU. He was in the first MCU movie.
Exactly. Like, we have this tie to him, and you don't have many of those characters left. So why wouldn't you use that to your benefit?
Totally. It's frustrating.
Jay Shot agrees with us, but I just, the whole thing felt very, very rushed, and I'm like, why would you do this in 30 minutes? To me, this should have been a meaty 60, 70-minute, like, big bang finale of, like, really show off that fight with Gaia and Gravik, like, really have, like, a cool espionage sequence with Fury, like, you know, trying to sneak in somewhere and, like, really play that out, big car chase or something like that, like, really make it feel like it was Winter Soldier-esque. And they just missed the mark completely, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It was rushed and it was uninspired, and yeah, I didn't care for Gravik and Gaia fight. Like,
we just didn't have any emotional side to them. Like, we didn't know the characters enough to, like, really root for either of them. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I never really understood what Gravik hoped to achieve, other than, like, oh, we're gonna kill the humans and take their planet. And it didn't seem like he had a well enough laid out plan to really accomplish anything.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, I guess in terms of how it all played out, that kind of works with the plan that he did have, where it was, like, not really well planned and, like, didn't really go the way he wanted it to. So,
but it would have been way more interesting if, like,
I agree. It would have made it more imposing.
Yeah, if he had the plan,
ended up just
like,
being some chunk.
He was like, you know what, we've infiltrated the government in, you know, A country, B country, C country, D country. Like, the Skrulls are in power in so many different locations, and we're going to use that to our advantage and have this, like, really laid out map, and we have control of the nukes in these countries, and, like, if they won't listen to us, we'll fucking nuke them. Like, it could have been such a more interesting story, and then have, like, you know, Fury or other spy-esque characters, like, you know, trying to break into these facilities and, like, you know, save the day. And, like, I don't know, it didn't work for me. And then, like, the fact that it didn't even have any stinger or any, like, credit tag to, like, really hype anything coming. Like, it didn't set up anything really. Like, I assume that the Marvels is gonna play off of this in some way, and then again, Armor Wars.
Fury's in it, so, like,
exactly. But, like, Fury's back on Earth in that movie, even though he just left with his wife back up to like, I don't know. It feels like a mess.
Well, he's shown in space in the trailer too, so
sure, I guess, yeah.
You know, I guess he was shown in both space and Earth, so
I don't know. You know. I really wish they'd just pause, use this strike as a reason to pause and
step away. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Because I
can't believe I'm saying that, because, you know, I love the MCU, or I always wanted more and more of it, but now that I'm getting more and more of it, I'm like, maybe you can step back a little bit.
I think it would do them a lot of good to step away for, like, an entire year or two and just really plan things out and really, like, step back and look at what they're doing and, like, to say, all right, Deadpool 3 is pivotal to what we want to achieve. This movie's pivotal to where we're going, but, like, this series, we don't need. Like, sorry, but it's gone, you know?
The thing is if they've already produced it, they're not going to not do something with it, because...
Well, look at HBO and DC.
I know.
They've cut all kinds of shit.
Hmm.
They've stopped production on shows. They shot stuff that they never even released because they're just like, forget it, it's garbage. Like,
yeah.
I think the MCU's got to look at that and go, like, this isn't worth putting out. It's not good enough to put out, you know?
Well, I was listening to, actually, it was Unparalleled Universe's live stream the other night, yesterday night. Yeah. And he was saying, like, that's the biggest thing right now, is there's so much and we've alluded to this too. You said your friends are very much like this, where it's like, you know, there's so much happening that, like, if you're not fully in the loop on stuff, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. And it's like, it scares, like, regular non-nerd viewers, like, away from staying up to date with it. Cause it's like, now it's become like a chore to, like, keep up with what the fuck's going on. And it doesn't help that it doesn't help that the stories are not compelling enough to keep people coming back. So it's like, they're having to commit to all this stuff that's, like, you know, B-level stuff rather than the A-level quality they're used to getting.
Well, just think about, all right, so we're 32 movies in?
Yep.
So there's 64, 65, whatever, 70 hours worth of content right there. Then you have, 7-8 series to watch on top of that. Like, you're looking at hundreds of hours to get caught up on the MCU if you haven't stayed caught up. And
but I mean, you also don't. That's not all needed. You know what I mean? You
of course it's not. But
some of it, but
my point is like if somebody was like, "Hey, I'm going to get into the MCU. I want to see whatever. The new Marvel's movie looks great. I want to get into that." All right, well, you need to see this and you need to see that. You got to go watch the first one. You got to, you should know what happened in Endgame and Avengers and like there's so much stuff that you should watch that it's like it's overwhelming. And I think people are just like, forget it.
Yeah.
There's too much good television to watch bad television.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like look at the delay of Craven, right? Like,
well, that's not so. Like, I don't know. I don't think we spoke about this, but I believe the reason why all those are getting pushed are because they need the actors to be able to
promote it
properties, and because they're not able to, they're gonna just push everything back, right? So,
but that's what I'm saying is like use the strike as an advantage and say like, hey, the Marvels does not need to come out in November because maybe by then the strike is over and everything's a-okay. But to me, it's like it's not up to snuff or whatever. Loki's not up to snuff, and Tom Hiddleston's not gonna be able to promote it at all in October. We're pushing it to next year and making sure that it's top notch. And by pushing that, we're pushing everything else. And it just is what it is. Like instead of putting 4 movies out next year, we're putting 2, and they're going to be both great. And that's how you get people back on board. Is if you're going to the theater and it's going to be a banger of a movie, then people are way more interested in spending $20 to go to the theater. If they know that there's a possibility the movie's going to be like meh, why do they care?
It's especially unfortunate because after Oppenheimer and Barbie weekend, like the theaters were drawing like pre-COVID numbers with that weekend, right? So it's like, it's unfortunate that this is all happening when it is because we're just seeing this like big return to theaters like over the last couple weeks, and now it's like, we're gonna go back down to like having to rebuild from scratch again, right?
But I think that's just because both of those movies are considered very good, right? Like everybody that's seen them is very high on both those movies. Where next week if you put out whatever MCU movie X and it's mediocre, like of course it's not going to make $300 million. Why does anybody care? And you're not going to get that every weekend. You're not going to get an Oppenheimer and a Barbie movie.
No.
I know it just can't happen. But like they just put out, I don't know if you've seen it, but they put out the new Saw X trailer, I don't know, earlier this week or
I didn't
whatever.
see it, no.
So it's like a sequel prequel. It's supposed to take place between Saw 2 and 3, I think. Even though it's called Saw 10, which I assume that's going to be somewhat of a twist, is that it's happening in the past and it's happening in the future, or something along those lines. But the trailer didn't like overly as a guy that loves the Saw movies, and I've seen every single Saw movie. It didn't compel me to go like, fuck, I need to see that opening weekend. Right. And I think there's just more and more of those type of movies where it's like
they're just there.
They're there. I don't need to see that opening weekend. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I mean, I think the thing is like things get tired, right? And it's like you can only rely on nostalgia for so long, right? It's like, you love Saw 1 and 2 and 3, and now it's Saw 4, and now we're at Saw 10, and you're like, okay, I stopped caring at like Saw 5, and like everything else I just saw out of like, because I liked the other ones, but but
that's what I mean is like after a while people are tired of sequels and the pull on nostalgia, and like they have beaten this like nerd revolution into the ground of like, hey, we're gonna milk these nerds for every dollar they're worth. We're gonna give them every fucking superhero character they've ever liked, and we're gonna fucking drag that shit into the ground. And that's where we're at. It's like they've done that for 15 years, and now people are tired of it, and they need the next thing. They need to re-revolutionize the next big movie franchise, and it's just you can't do that when everything's a sequel.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
There's no creative ideas,
think that. Yeah, I do think that this strike is going to kind of kill like the movies, the superhero movies. I think, I mean, I don't think that it's going to be the one that kills it, but I think it's going to be like the fatal blow. I think it's going to be the thing that kind of ends it for, the general public at the very least, right?
Or you need to start making these movies cheaper. You can't make every single one of these MCU movies a $250 million movie. You need to start figuring out a way to make these movies as an $80 or $80 million movie, and that way, when it makes 90 million opening weekend, you're good. You know,
the thing is that we're in this weird place right now where it's like the only way that things are going to be able to fix themselves are if the top brass at all these movie studios decide that they're not going to take home as much money. And I just don't see that happening, right? Because like basically actors, it's not the top 5%. It's the, it's the little guys, right, that are being affected by this.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it always is.
Yeah, but it's like, if they're going to have to pay more for everybody and everything, writers and actors and everything, how are they going to?
Well, first, like, to me, like, say for Fantastic Four, you don't need 4 big name actors to take the main roles. Like, find 4 actors that are up and coming, that are young, that or haven't had some big hit movie, where you don't have to pay all these 4 actors $25 million to make this movie. Like, find the guy that you can pay a couple $1 million for, whatever, and say like, hey, and we're going to give you a profit of the movie if this does well. Like whatever, a 1% share of the movie profit, whatever the case is. I don't know how exactly it works. And then say like, and if it's successful and it's good, the next movie will pay you a little bit more. But like, to me, that's how you save money, instead of getting, we have to have this big name director, we have to have this big name actor. Like, you got to get creatives back involved that are in like the indie movie scene, or like indie actors that aren't super famous. You need to start pulling from, not maybe necessarily Hollywood, but like find the young actor in whatever, Canada, Australia, wherever, Japan, whatever, and differentiate it, make somebody that wasn't super famous.
Right.
And that's one thing. But the other thing is like, make the movies more of a singular area. Like, the next Spider-Man movie doesn't need to go to Europe and go to here and go to there. Like, it's a New York based movie.
Yeah.
That's how you save on budget.
Will happen, but yeah.
Like, you don't need to have all these different locales and all, like, I understand these are the big, blockbuster movies, but to me, like, you can make a great $60 million dollar
I agree,
MCU movie. Like,
they
don't all need to be 200 million.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree.
What happened to those movies, like, in our early 2000s or whatever, you'd see those movies all the time, that like a movie came out that had like, look at Blair Witch, like that movie was made for like $25,000 or some stupid shit like that. And
crazy,
right? It's like, you can come up with creative ideas if you get the right people involved. I don't know, but I just think, to me, like, this really killed my investment in the MCU. It just really, I was like, I don't have any excitement for anything coming up. Like, Loki's probably going to be great because I love the first season, but like, I don't know. Do I care?
Yeah, I wouldn't say this killed MCU for me. I would say this killed my hype for MCU.
That's what I mean. It's like, I'm not looking.
I don't want to be burned by. I don't want to, because the thing is, like, I liked Loki too, but I didn't like Loki as much as you did. I don't think. Like, I love
Loki, but I love that sci-fi-ness of it. Like, I like the weirdness of it. And I hope they keep that up and it continues on, and they do like the different timeline travels and shit like that. And like, that to me could get me back into this whole multiverse shit if that's like a really creative twist on what they're doing. But I'm
just so over the multiverse. Like,
me too.
I honestly couldn't care less. Like, to think that we have another
3 years,
without interruptions, another 3 to 5 years of it. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm just so beyond over it. Like, I fucking do not care.
Yeah, I think they'd be very smart to end the multiversal shit.
I definitely agree,
sooner than later. But I mean, that Avengers movie, I think, is 2026. So
yeah,
it's going to be a while. But it just killed my, like, to me, to not have a stinger in those credits to hype up Loki or hype up or the Marvels.
Yeah, should have been Marvels. It made sense. It's relevant to the
that would have been the timeline. But like, even if it wasn't, like, Loki's the next thing coming out, like, why wouldn't you have some kind of like trailer or something at the end of that, even, of just saying like, and here's what's next, and it gets you pumped for it. And it's like, they've lost that hype moments. They've lost that get you excited for the next thing moment. And after this, I was just like, well, that was a dud. And like, I don't know. Do I care for Loki? Sure, I'll watch it when it comes out. But like, am I excited for it? No.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just whatever. I'm
more excited for Ahsoka than I am that.
Me too. I'm pretty excited for Ahsoka, especially after STCC. They released their next HasLab, which is a Ghost, which is the spacecraft that the Rebels crew mans. So I'm assuming we'll see the Ghost in Ahsoka, which is fun.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm excited. So I'm really excited for that. I'm just excited to see the Rebels team in live action.
Yeah. No, I like
excited.
you know me. I love my live action. So, I actually want to see that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie too.
Man, it's getting great.
Yeah.
Like I read two different people who saw it, like early screeners, said
awesome.
that even though the first Ninja Turtles movie is still my favorite, they said story-wise this might be the best Ninja Turtles. I think both of them said it, and I was just like, that's a
high bar.
Sign. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
It made me want to see it after reading a couple little things I saw. I was like, I know it's animated and shit, but like, I'm in.
Yeah. You're not a big animated guy. Jay Shot's like, that's his property. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He loves that shit.
I like I said, like
it's also mine too. I like it too.
I loved the cartoon as a kid. I loved the first two movies as a kid. Like I watched those first two movies endlessly, like hundreds of times as a kid. And that animated series in the late 80s, early 90s, like I was obsessed with as a kid. I had so many Turtles toys. And I just didn't really like either of those.
I like Turtles.
I didn't really like either of those Michael Bay movies or whatever. I think it was Michael Bay that did it. I don't remember. I just couldn't stand the look of the turtles in those movies.
Yeah, I don't like how they look. They're ugly.
And like as much as I want live action, I just don't know if that's like the kind of style of live action we'd get is like they look that bad. Then okay, animate it, because that's the only way you were gonna get like a good Turtles thing, I guess. So
I can't stop myself from buying Turtles. Hey Jay Shot, this is a little bit off topic. Did you buy those Mezco Turtles initially? So at Comic-Con last week, there's this company called Mezco. They're expensive, like pretty expensive figures. For the set of 4 turtles, it's like $600 Canadian.
Oh my god,
it's crazy. But
that's down. No, sorry.
Well, when they originally went up, they were just digital renders. So like I thought they looked cool, but I was like, it's just way too much. And then I saw pictures of them in the booth at Comic-Con, and I was like, fuck, I kind of need those now. So I found somewhere that had them, and I bought them. It's like, shit.
You're insane.
I bought them through. They look so good. They look so good.
Dude, there is not a toy on this earth that I would buy for $600.
Love it.
Not a toy. I mean, I buy video games, so like I'm not judging because video games are just as big of a waste of money. But like, there's some video game characters I would fucking love to like have a figure of. Like I've talked to you privately about like BioShock is one of my favorite IPs. I would love like a really nice Big Daddy or a really nice Big Sister.
Wouldn't we all?
There's like so many figures from that IP that I would love to have, but like every time I look for them, they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, I understand why, because they're very like scale wise and like very specific. You couldn't just
you couldn't just make these tiny little things. Yeah.
But I would buy those if I could find them at a reasonable price. But like $600, like there's no chance of that.
Yeah. Justify it by saying 150 per turtle. Yeah, true.
I get it. I get it. But like, again, $150 for an action figure for me is like, it's not going to happen. I question myself when I spend $30 on a pizza. Like,
I know.
It's just the way I am. I'm very budget oriented, but like, I get that you guys are, collectors and like, that's where it's going. So I understand, but yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I would love that, but I wouldn't spend $150 on it.
Yeah.
If it was $35, I'd be like, yeah, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, boy, there's your fave.
Yeah, man, I love Donnie.
Big fan.
Yeah, I like if I find some figures at Fan Expo that like are like reasonably priced and like stuff I would totally buy them. I'm surprised that like there's not more video game based figures. Like there's just not. Other than Mega Man and Street Fighter, there's not a lot.
Well, I mean, even traditionally, that Mega Man and Street, like, you're seeing a lot of it right now because Jada Toys is doing it and they're making a splash. But like, this is the first time ever where we're getting Robot Masters in a Mega Man line. Like, there's so many Mega Mans out there. Like, he's probably been done by like, 8 companies now. But like, other than Cutman, we've never gotten any of the Robot Masters in toy form. So this is the first time.
And that's what I mean is like basically a game. So you're looking at like probably right there you could do like 60 figures.
Yeah.
Easily, if not more.
Well, like even Street Fighter, their plan is to do Street Fighter 2 roster first, which is I think it's 16 characters, I think, if you include DJ Cammy, Fei Long, T-Hawk. And they're 3 ways in. We're 9 figures deep already, and it's like it literally just started, and it's like, oh my god, we're more than halfway already. I can't wait.
But like the way I look at it too is like think of just like Nintendo IP. Like they could make so many awesome figures from like all the different like Mario games, the Zelda games, Donkey Kong games, but they're not like good figures in my opinion. Like they don't look good enough where I'm like, I'd buy that. Like
you should see what the ones they're doing. Jax is doing a great job with the property right now. They're great. They're really
the only ones I've seen are like very like look cheap and like
they have some cheaper ones which are like 2.5-inch scale, like they're smaller and they're like not really articulated, but they also have a line of like I want to say they're like 4-inch and like they're pretty decent. They're okay. Like they're not like import level, but they're pretty good.
Like I would buy a nice Link. I would buy a nice Zelda. I would buy like a Metroid, like a Samus.
Yeah, I'm trying. I've been keeping an eye on a Samus, but Samus is expensive.
Yeah,
she came out a few years back, and it's like I think she's like she goes for about $300 a piece.
Yeah, I'm not paying that.
Pretty expensive. Yeah, but I want it. But I like it. But yeah, I bought it, and I bought a Link too. Yeah, they have a couple different links. Yeah. Yeah, but again, Jax does have a Link that's for Breath of the Wild, and I think they have ones from like older games as well. So
yeah, I don't know. I just I think it's like such an untapped market for toys. Like I just don't get why there's not more of it.
I want the Koopa Kids, like they have them.
Awesome.
I just don't want to have to backtrack and try to find them all. But
Koopa Kids, Bowser, I know ship.
Yeah, I got that Bowser that breathes steam. That's
right, right. And then you had that Kirby too.
Kirby too, but Kirby's again, he's import, so he's expensive. He's like $130 or something like that.
Too pricey, but
yeah, he's expensive for sure.
But I'm sure like we'll find shit at Fan Expo that you're just gonna dump money on, and I'm so excited to see random.
Like shit. I said,
it's gonna be hard.
I'm probably going to be looking for like more decor stuff for the studio, like but stickers and
worst case scenario, we go to like a shipping place and you just ship it to your house.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about bringing it home. The thing is I'm bringing a big. It's awesome to travel to Ontario in the summer because I bring a whole suitcase, but I really only need like 3 pairs of shorts and like 8 t-shirts.
Yeah,
that's really it. So like my bag ends up being pretty empty when I get home. So yeah, I can definitely
jam shit. I definitely
have room. Yeah, exactly. I definitely have room to bring shit home with me. That won't be an issue.
Very dope.
So, but like you said, if I have to, I can just ship it home.
Yeah, we'll find a shipping place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that I don't know. Do we have anything else you want to cover? No more Whip Wednesday. That's done for.
No more Whip Wednesday for the foreseeable future. I moving, so I don't really have a place to work and record. So I probably won't do live streams again until I get the studio up and running and all that jazz and my figures all set up. So it's going to take some time. Maybe 2024 probably. And then even if I come back, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to do Whip Wednesdays anymore. I don't know if I'm going to do them regularly. I might just do pre-records. I honestly, I don't know. I need to
change it up.
Yeah. Kind of. I just, the thing is like, don't get me wrong. I love talking with people, but I just, everybody talks with people, and there's people who are more, not enthusiastic. There's people who are just more, they have more character, like personality than me, I guess. And it's just, they do it better. And I don't want to just be in a sea of people who just talk to people, like I want it to be meaningful. I want it to do something. So I don't know. I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I just don't want to just be in this fucking thick of it with everybody and just doing the same shit that I always do. So I don't, I don't know.
It's hard to carve out a niche in like a very oversaturated YouTube and podcast. Like, I mean, I understand why this podcast isn't bigger than it is because there's so many podcasts that talk about the MCU. There's so many podcasts that have, hosts that have done it for years upon years. Yep. So like, it's a hard market to break into, and like to carve out your own little niche. It's hard, but I think you're very, very creative, and I think you hold very interesting conversations with people, and I hope you continue on in some way, but just figure out a new kind of format for it,
Yeah, I won't be gone. This isn't the end.
I know.
I just, it might just be a shift. Like I might just be, I don't know. Like I kind of want to do stuff that's more like, has an end. So like, a 4-part series where I have like, maybe panel style, and I have 4 people on for that one, and then next one I change up the panel and talk about something different, right? Sure. It's just that's what I'm kind of envisioning. I just have to find a good way to do it. So thanks, Jay Shot. You're very kind.
Just an idea right here. Got it. We blindfold you.
Here's a good example.
We blindfold you, and you have to make a figure blindfolded.
Oh, that would be fun.
Or we tie you to another human. You have to use both of your hands tied together to create a figure. Boom.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it helps having a co-host. I feel like that goes a long way too, right? And totally. Like, Jay Shot is a good example of that. It's like him and Matthew. They're good. They're a good combo. They balance off each other really well. And like,
why do you think I don't host this alone? Because it's fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, even us, right? Like, I feel like
when you're not available, I don't want to fucking do this by myself. Like, it's a challenge.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, it's hard to keep it interesting when you have no one to bounce shit off of, right? So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make like nip jokes and show my chest and be like,
hey, I mean, we make nip jokes when we are together, so it's not like,
that's kind of our thing. That's our fallback thing. Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
No, I get it, man. I hope you come back and find something that like excites you again about it. And
yeah, me too.
I think you're good at it. I just think you got to find something that carves out your own little area.
Especially with the new space. When I have the new space, it's gonna lend itself to live streaming because like I've learned so much over the last year in terms of like what I need to put on a good show, right? And it's like now that I'm building a space from scratch, I can incorporate all of that into it while I'm planning it and while I'm designing it. So
totally,
there'll be a lot of like things that'll make the whole process significantly easier as I move through it, right? Navigate through it. But yeah, it's not the end. It's just a pause, Yeah. And I'll probably do some YouTube videos while I'm down. I don't know. I honestly don't fucking know. But I won't be gone. Like I'll still be a presence on Instagram. That's not gonna stop.
At Customs by Matthew.
At Customs by Matthew. You can find me there. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It is whatever.
Yeah.
I'll be around. No. If you need me, just holler.
And we'll be back with
you gotta pull out the conch.
I wish.
News team assemble.
Exactly. No, we'll be back in 3 weeks for
Smoke. Yeah, and I'm still doing this. This isn't gonna stop. So we're taking a couple weeks break because I'm moving, but when that's done, we're good.
Between two matches.
Between two matches. That's exactly.
You both stand on one side, like between two ferns, and then you get a guest in the middle.
That's the way we do it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to keep this going, and even if we only have a small community, I appreciate you all coming by and
me too.
Chatting with us. It's always a fun time.
It is always a fun time.
I hope we meet.
It's nice to chat with you, Ray.
Oh, of course, buddy. I mean, always. This is why I do this.
Excited to see you.
Yeah, Fan Expo will be great, and I hope we get to meet some
great
friends that we've met through this, and friends that and just make it a fun experience. And maybe we'll do a couple podcasts that weekend just with random people we meet. Who knows?
Yeah, man, that would be fun. That would be fun.
But I appreciate everybody stopping by, swinging by, whatever.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Jay Shock, Quebec Diorama, thank you. Neil, wherever you are, go fuck yourself.
You're there in spirit. Just kidding. Yeah, if you're not already following us, please follow us on Instagram or on YouTube at Moose Smoke Media, Customs by Matthew. You can grab the podcast on podcast services. Wherever podcast service you use, it should be there. And we'll be posted on Instagram and stuff like that. I might do some streams over the next couple weeks, just as Matt's busy. I don't know. We'll see if there's any video games I feel like playing. I might do some video game streams. But yeah, other than that, we'll be back in 3 weeks with a random episode. Yeah,
but
maybe
if
Oppenheimer.
Not,
we'll see.
Ahsoka and Fan Expo hype. So we'll get there.
Definitely Fan Expo hype. We'll be talking a lot about Fan Expo. So
hell's yeah, we will.
Thanks, Jay Shot. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Jay Shot. You're the man. Thanks for staying up. It's so late there.
Yeah. Anyways, nice talking to you, friend. And we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Peace, everybody.